Hello, this is Joel Marshall, and this is the very first episode of LearnMyComputer.com, and I am here for you. Thank you for signing up. My email address is joel@learnmycomputer.com, so send me an email if you want to ask a question, if you want to make a comment, if there is something that you want to learn that you haven't learned yet. And we are here today to talk about selecting files. I have two files here, and they are sitting on my desktop. Now the desktop is just the background. When you turn on your computer and you don't have a program open, it is just that background. Sometimes it's an image. Right now it's just blue. And I have two files sitting here on my desktop. One is a document and the other is a picture of a koala bear. And I can tell one is a picture because there is a photograph here, and I can tell one is a document because it looks like a piece of paper. Now those pictures are called icons, and every file has an icon and a name. The name appears down below, it's the text, and the icon tells us what program this file is to be opened with. So this one is telling me that Word is going to open this file. This one is telling me that some kind of picture editor or viewer will open this file. And the name just tells me what it is. So what the file is all about. Here it's all about a koala bear picture. Here it's about a document. That's not a very specific name. These names are given to the files by us generally. We name them so that we can find them more easily later when there are a bunch of them or some time has passed. So if you make a document, you probably want to say something more specific like letter to Joel or something to that effect. But in this particular example, it's just called document. So now when you select one of these, that means you're going to do something with it. And if I move my cursor around, this little arrow is called the cursor, and when I move my mouse or move my finger on my trackpad, this moves, and I'm sure you're familiar enough with that. But when I put it over the icon of one of these files, I get a little translucent box, and I also get another rectangle that tells me a little detail about the file. That rectangle is called a tooltip. We'll talk about that more in the future, but it gives you a little bit of information about the file. But until I actually click the left button on my mouse, I will not have selected the file. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click with my left click button, and I push that down just once, and you'll see now the file is selected. And we know it's selected because it now has a box around it, and regardless of whether I move my cursor away from it, it still has that box. So I've selected it. Now I'm going to move over to the document, and I'm going to click on the icon and select that. Now notice I said click. I didn't say left click. When I say click in this series, and generally when people say click, they mean the left click button. There is a right click button that does some other functions. There's something there, but we're going to stay away from that for now, and in the future we'll learn we'll learn all the ins and outs of using that. But for now we're just going to click with our left click button, and we're going to select files. You'll see when I select one file, the other one gets deselected. We call that deselected. And when I click on the koala bear, the document gets deselected. Two things I want to point out. One is when you select a file, please select the icon. Don't select the text. A lot of people do this where they select the text. They get in the habit of that. But sometimes if you click a little too hard, it selects the actual text. And now see, I don't really have the document selected. I've just got the text selected, and then if I happen to panic and type something, well then I've changed the name of the document. I don't even know what it is. If this happens to you, and it probably will, the best way to get it back to the original name is just hit the escape key on your keyboard. It's in the upper left-hand corner. It says ESC. Just hit that escape key. It'll go back to the original name. So not really something to panic about, but a good idea to stay away from it, because I will often see people's computers, even people that have used computers for a long time, and the names of their files, some of them will be all messed up because they've done exactly that. They don't click on the icons. The other thing that's important is the cursor is an arrow, but the point of the arrow is actually the thing that you're clicking with. So it's very specific. You'll see if I put the arrow just above the document icon, but still the rest of the arrow is on it, and I click, it doesn't select it. I'm clicking right now. But if I put the point in there, then it clicks it and selects it. So those are the fundamentals of selecting and deselecting files. We'll get more into some different ways of doing that in the next video. Thank you for joining me. This is Joel at learnmycomputer.com.